Hello students, in this video I'm going to discuss a program in Java that will use the bubble sort technique, and data will be sorted in the ascending order. Integer array is there. Alright, and not only that, in this video I'm going to tell you the optimized implementation of the bubble sort also. But before that, I want you all to subscribe my channel, press subscribe button. Students, what the sorting is all about. Sorting is basically arranging the data either in ascending or the descending order. There are many situations in our life when we have to perform this sorting. For example, there is a result of a college in front of us and we want to see that who has got the maximum marks, who has got the minimum marks. So for that we need to sort the marks, right? Or people are standing in a queue and we have to sort them on the basis of their height. So in that case also we have to perform sorting. In the bank also, if I want to see the amounts deposited by the customers, in a proper order, so we have to perform the sorting. Through that we can conclude that who has deposited the minimum amount, who has deposited the maximum amount, like that. All right, so there are many situations. So here we are going to discuss very important technique and very simple technique of sorting, that is the bubble sort. Students, in this technique we sort the given data items or data elements in descending or ascending order by comparing two adjacent elements at a time. This is a very important line, by comparing two adjacent elements at a time and placing them in correct position. All right, students, what the bubble sort is, a few more points. Simplest sorting technique: data of single dimensional array or 1D array, 1D I have written here, can be sorted ascending as well as in descending order using the bubble sort. It is also known as sinking sort. Technique has three major steps. We have to sequentially scan the array, or you may say array or list is sequentially scanned many times. That means loop will be used. Then compares adjacent elements. And then third is swap these adjacent elements if they are in the wrong order. So scanning the list, compare adjacent elements and perform swapping. Swapping means interchanging the elements. Now we take one example here. You can see few integers are here like 75, 70, 73, 55 and 5. And here students, for to give you a better idea of the process, I have stored the same elements into an array. Array name is AR and these are different index of the array. So students, one more thing I just want to remind you, that how to get the length of the array. It is just by writing the name of the array, which is right now AR dot length. Length is a keyword. All right, and now we have to perform the swapping. How it can be done? Before moving ahead, I want to show you these statements here. Why to perform swapping? 75 is bigger than its adjacent element and we have to perform data in the ascending order. We have to perform the data, we have to perform the sorting in the ascending order. So in that case, smaller one must be before the bigger one. But here the wrong order is there. That's why we have to bring 75 here and 75 this side. So swapping is to be performed. This is what we call swapping. If I copy 75 to 70 location, this location, and if I copy 70 to this location, then means the moment I do 75 is copied to this location, 70 will be gone. So first we have to save the data somewhere, right? So for that purpose I need another variable. How we can do that? Let me show it to you. And why we do that? We always do that when the one data element is bigger than the next element. And remember, this is for the sorting in the ascending order, not in the descending order, right? Descending will have just opposite. Now if AR of 0 greater than AR of 1, which is true here, you have already seen in the example. So what we need to do, we have to save our data. So we save our data of AR of 0 into temp. I'm showing this in the picture also. AR of 0 contains 75. So now temp will also have 75 after the execution of this statement. After now our 75 is saved. Now very easily we can copy the 70 on this location in the array, that is A of 0 or AR of 0 you may call. So AR of 0, assignment operator AR of 1. So the moment I write this, so that means AR of 0, which was already, earlier having 75, now that will have 70. All right, now this data has already been copied to AR of 0, which was our desired location for swapping. Now we have to copy the data which is already stored in temp. What was there? 75 to AR of 1. So what do we write? We write AR of 1 equal to temp. Students never get confused that sometimes students write here temp assignment operator AR of 1. This is wrong. Right, because this is the last statement now of swapping, and finally we have to transfer the data which is stored in the temp to AR of 1. So after that you will find now AR of 1 contains 75 and AR of 0 contains 70. This was something which we wanted to perform. Now the swapping is done. After performing this, 70 will be here and 75 will be here. Now same process is going to be performed again and again. So I'm just going to explain it here. So 75 and 70, 75 bigger, so and 70 smaller, so they have been swapped, right? 70 is here, 75 here. Now the second comparison, 75 and 73, again condition is true. So 73 is smaller, 75 bigger, so we swap. 73 is here, 75 is here. Now 75 and 55 are being compared, so 75 will be here and 55 will be here. Swapping is done. After that, fourth comparison, 75 and 5, so 5 will be here and 75 will be here. You can see after performing this, the largest data element has reached its destination. So now 75 students is has reached to its proper position in the array. That is the largest data element. Next time again we will start the comparison, but after we have done this thing, these steps are collectively known as pass. What do we call it? Pass. And this is our first pass. This is the first pass. So the result of the first pass is that biggest element has reached its proper position. Now we move for the second pass because still the data is not sorted. So now what we need to do, we have to again the process, start the process of comparing and swapping with the 0th location. So 70 and 73 will be compared. No need to swap because 70 is already smaller than 73. Now 73 and 55 will be compared. So 55 will be copied here and 73 will be copied here. So after, as a result of this, 55 and 73 are here. After that, 73 and 5 are going to be interchanged. Because 73 is bigger than the 5. So 5 is here and 73 is here. Now, we do not need to compare this element with 75 because 75 has already, reached its proper location where it is supposed to be. Now 73 will be what? It is now finally reached its proper location. This also because this is now second largest data item or data element in the array. How many comparisons we have performed this time? In the first pass we had performed 4 comparisons. This time 1, 2 and 3. 3 comparisons have been performed. Means we have reduced our comparison by 1 because one after the other pass, one element is reaching to its proper destination or proper location. Students, after this we go for the third pass. In the third pass, what is there? Now we get 70 and 55 comparison. So what is here? 70 is bigger than this. So 55 will be here and 70 will be here. It has been done. Now after that, 70 and 5 will be compared. So 5 will be here and 70 is here. Alright. 70 is here and 5 is here. After doing so, what will be done? Now 70 will not be compared with 73. Actually 70 has reached its proper location and 73 and 75 are already there at their proper location. So student, this time how many comparisons? 2 comparisons. So again we have reduced the number of comparison by 1 in the third pass. Now we go for the fourth pass. In the fourth pass, 55 and 5 will be compared. So 55 is here and 5 is here. So you can see here 5 and 55. So 55 has reached its proper location. So 55, 70, 73, 75. This is the fourth largest data element. And after that, what do you find? You find 5, 55, 70, 73 and 75 means entire array is sorted. So how many passes we have performed? 4 passes, and the size of the array or the length of the array is 5 because 5 elements are there. That means maximum number of passes required by the bubble sort are n-1 or array dot length minus 1. Always remember that. This is a very, very important thing which will be a big help while writing the loop for passes. Okay, students, now I'm just going to tell you one more time. This pass is the main process and then compare and swap is the sub process in the bubble sort. So main process and sub process is there. So which concept we will use? We will use nested loop. Why? Because main process is for scanning the entire array, and compare and swap you have already seen in the example being performed again and again. So whatever is repeated, for that we use nested loop. So this process is within this process of pass. So automatically what do we use in the bubble sort? Nested loop. Right. If you have any confusion regarding the array or the nested loop, please do watch my previous videos. All the concepts will be clear to you. Now students, main process to be repeated, right? That is the outer loop. That is the pass, right? Number of times for a loop to work is equal to the number of passes. And I have already told you how many passes we need. Array dot length minus 1, or if the size you assume as n, so it will be n minus 1. Students, after that, number of passes in the bubble sort is equal to the length of the array or size of the array, or array name dot length minus 1. All right, minus 1. Don't forget that. Length of the array, size of the array, or array dot name, array underscore name dot length minus 1. Alright, as in our case 5 elements were there, so 4 passes we have performed. So maximum passes are there, okay? That is the maximum number of passes. Now in the given example, array length is 5. So the loop for passes will work 4 times. Students, keep on writing all these things. These are very, very important things and will give you a very good understanding of the process of bubble sort, and it's quite important also. Now you see a loop here for int I equal to 0, I less than ar dot length minus 1, I plus plus. Alright, I0, I less than ar dot length minus 1 semicolon I plus plus. Please write this loop again and again. This is a very, very important loop of the bubble sort. Alright, loop for passes. After that, second, loop for sub process, that is how many times compare and swap will take place. Right? So here, first pass 4 times, second pass 3 times, third pass 2 times, fourth time or fourth pass 1 time. This is I've already explained through the example. So what will be the loop for that? So students, here you can see the loop int j equal to 0, that we will begin with 0, and j less than ar dot length minus I minus 1. How does it work? Means I said first pass. When this will be executed first time, at that time ar dot length is definitely, that is fixed 5. In our example it is 5, so 5 minus I. So first time when the this compare and swap loop will be performed, or the sub nested loop will be working, that will be, at that time the value of I will be 0. So 5 minus I, that means 5 minus 0, no effect, so that will be only 5. Alright, then it says minus 1, then it says minus 1, right? So minus 1 means 5 minus 1, that is 4. 5 minus 1 means 4. J less than 4, j less than 4, that means 3. J less than 4, that means 3. So that simply means 0, then 1, then 2, and then 3. How many times? That means 4 times, which is here. Alright, and now I'm showing you the complete loop. So for int j equal to 0, j less than ar dot length minus I minus 1. Don't forget this. Many books have given this loop, and the loop for the pass is wrong. Somewhere they have just written ar dot length, they have not mentioned minus 1. So please take care of all these things. So whatever the code is given here, it is the proper code. After that, students, we have j plus plus, because we have to increase j by 1. So students, how many things I told you? I told you about the loop for passes, practice it again and again, and the loop for compare and swap. Practice it this also many times, will give you a better understanding, and you won't forget during the examination. Students, after this, now I'm going to tell you third very important thing, that is the compare and swap steps for that. So this will be kept inside the nested loop, that is the loop with the loop variable j. So what do we write here? If ar of j is greater than ar of j plus 1, so we have to perform swapping. How do we perform that? Temp equal to ar of j. Ar of j equals to AR of j plus 1 means assignment operator not exactly equal to, so you may say temp assignment operator AR of j semicolon AR of j assignment operator AR of j plus 1, then AR of j plus 1 assignment operator temp. So this was for compare and swap. Students, after this you just see here that we talk about the program now. So first we need to have the array, and then we have to perform the input, and then we have to perform the display of the original data. So for input we need a scanner class, so we have written import java.util.asterisk semicolon. Please, if you have any confusion regarding the input and also class or function definition, so please refer my previous videos, that's quite important. After that, public void sort, there is a sort function for sorting the data. Scanners object we create here, scanner is c equal to new scanner system dot in semicolon. After that, students, we have int ar square bracket equal to new int 5. That means an array of int type and of size 5 has been declared and created here. This has been instantiated, you can also say. Memory has been allocated here. Now after that, we need a loop variable I. For the loop for passes, we need a variable j. For the loop for compare and swap, that is the nested one, and they are of int type, so int I have written here, and temp variable to store the data temporarily while swapping. Alright, so temp assignment operator 0 semicolon. So declaration of these three and initialization 2 has been done. Students, whenever you declare a variable, please do initialize. That is a good practice. After that, students, we input the data. So I0 semicolon I less than AR dot length semicolon I plus plus. So loops, three parts: initialization, test, and update. So we have to enter the data right from the 0th index to the last index, that will be AR dot length minus 1. So I put less than, so automatically that will be taken as minus 1. Alright. So if the size is 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the data will be stored. What is the message here? System dot println enter data plus I plus 1. So here the message will be there, enter data 1, then enter data 2, enter data 3, like this. Because if I just write I, so it will automatically become enter data 0, enter data 1. So enter data 0 won't be appropriate. So that is why I have given purposely I plus 1. That does not modify the value or update the value of I, it is just for the display. After that, students, we write AR of I equal to sc dot next int. This is the proper input statement for the array, and the data will be entered. After that, to display the original data, same loop has been used. Whatever is written for the input, same loop is here. But the change is, instead of input statement, now there is a print statement, and inside that we have written AR of I plus space. So this will be printed system dot println AR of I plus space. You can skip ln also, because in same line will be there with some gap. So whatever the way you like, you may just go ahead with that. Now in input is over, display also over. Now we start with the bubble sort. So students, bubble sort is, as I've told you, already explained all the components separately. So this is the loop for passes, and inside that curly brace is there. Notice I have not written any int here, any int there, because I have already declared I, j and temp here. So no need to redeclare them. So students, here you will find for I equal to 0, I assignment operator 0, then I less than AR dot length minus 1. That is for the number of passes. So I is initialized with 0. Okay, it will go up to how many passes? 4 passes are going to be there. For 0, for 1, then 2, then 3, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3. That is why minus 1 was also required and less than was also required. That's very important. Then I plus plus, that is the update expression. Now curly brace. So now the nested loop for j equal to 0 semicolon j less than AR dot length minus I minus 1. I told you why is it so, because every time we are reducing, or you may say that the biggest element reaches its proper destination. So we have to ignore that element, right? We have to reduce our area or scope of comparison. All right, j plus plus semicolon is a must, and this loop is over. Means loop header is over, and then we start the process of comparison. So we write here if AR of j is bigger than AR of j plus 1. Means if the j is 0, then j plus 1 means 1. If the j is 1, then j plus 1 means 2, and so on. So if this condition is satisfied, then we perform the swapping. What is the swapping? I have already shown you the steps. So AR of j's value will I will store in temp, and now AR of j plus 1 is copied to AR of j, and after that finally temp's data will be transferred to AR of j plus 1. So the swapping is done. So that is the end of the if construct. We close the curly brace, and after that we close the curly brace of loop, which is the nested loop. This one for compare and swap is closed, and finally we close the loop for the passes. I hope everybody has got the clear idea of the bubble sort. Students, after that we need to display the sorted data. So for displaying the sorted data, students, we write the same loop which we had used for displaying the original data or the input to the array. I0 semicolon I less than AR dot length semicolon I plus plus. Now system dot out dot print AR of I plus, here comma is there just for the sake of display, and that's fine. Finally the closing of the display loop, and finally the closing of the sort function, and finally the closing of the or the end of the class definition. I hope it's clear to you. Very good, students. After that, now one more version, and the shorter version of the bubble sort I am showing, means logic is same, all the steps are there. The only thing that input statement I have replaced by this one. So in the sort function, what I have done, I have declared the array, I have created the array, and I have initialized the array. All the three things in the same statement. So whenever you have less time in the exam, you can go ahead with this. Otherwise, always have the proper input through the keyboard thing. If in the examination the fixed data is given, then you can always initialize it this way. Now students, here int I0 assignment operator 0, comma j assignment operator 0, comma temp assignment operator 0. After that there is a loop for I0 semicolon I less than AR dot length semicolon I plus plus. Students, we open the curly brace here. After that nested loop for j equal to 0, j less than AR dot length minus I and minus 1, and after that j plus plus. So same loop is there, one loop for passes, the other for compare and swap. These are the steps for comparison. So if AR of j is greater than AR of j plus 1, then we swap. So temp equal to AR of j equal to AR of j plus 1, and then AR of j plus 1 equal to temp. We close the curly brace for the if, then we close the curly brace for the for, then we close the curly brace for the outer one. After that, students, you can display the sorted data, which is very much here. So system dot out dot println sorted data for I equal to 0, I less than AR dot length semicolon I plus plus. Student, wherever I speak equal to, basically that I am talking about assignment operator. Okay, so system dot out dot print AR of I plus space parenthesis close and semicolon. You want to put a comma, you can put a comma here, not a problem. After that we close the function sort, and then we close the bubble sort. Now this was a kind of revision also for you, students. After that, one question very often comes to students' mind, that when the array which we are going to sort is having very less data which is unsorted, not the entire array is unsorted, okay, or we have got the entire array completely sorted. Now unnecessarily we are running the loop, it is time consuming, okay, consume the memory also. So what can be done in that case? So students, that is why optimized implementation or optimized solution for the bubble sort I have given here. So here directly I have written the data. So int AR square bracket equal to curly braces open 75 comma 72 comma 87 comma 89 comma 104, and we have closed the curly brace and semicolon is there. Alright, students, after this you see here int I equal to 0 comma j equal to 0, swapped equal to 0, comma temp equal to 0. So when you compare the previous example, you will find in this one, first you look at the array, only 75 and 72 are not sorted. Rest you see everything is in the ascending order, 87, 89 and 104. We have made a small change in this piece of code, that we have added one variable of int type, that is swapped, and I have given it the initial value 0. Swapped assignment operator 0. Now students, what we do here, for int I equal to 0, I less than AR dot length minus 1 semicolon I plus plus. Alright, same loop for passes, no change. Now swapped will be reinitialized here with 0. So swapped assignment operator 0. After that, students, we have here loop for compare and swap. So it is already there. J equal to 0, j less than ar dot length minus I minus 1 semicolon j plus plus. Students, now how it can be applied, let me show you with this example. Your logic says if ar of j is greater than ar of j plus 1. Initially, the j is having the value 0 and j plus 1 is having the value what? J plus 1 is having the value 1, because if it is 0, j is 0, then j plus 1 will be 1. That means what we are comparing? We are comparing AR of 0 with AR of 1. So what will happen here? 75 is bigger than 72. So that condition is true. So we have to perform the swapping. So we perform our step, temp equal to AR of j, semicolon, AR of j equal to AR of j plus 1, then AR of j plus 1 equal to temp. Swapping is done. Students, after swapping is done, so what we do? We assign 1 to this variable swapped. That means data has performed swapping. Alright. After that, we close this curly brace. Which curly brace? Curly brace is closed of this nested loop. After that, students, we write here if swapped equal to 0. If swapped equal to 0. So when the swapped equal to 0, that means break. Swapped equal to 0. Right? Swapped equal to 0, that means false. Right? When swapping is not done, then this will be terminated. What will be terminated? This outer loop. Terminating the outer loop means bubble sort is over. It will not move ahead. And that simply tells us that the data is sorted. Now, for example, you have seen this comparison here, right? What I do here now, that we perform, we move ahead as 75 and 72 is already, compared and swapped. After that, when the loop moves ahead, what will happen? It will again compare. But nowhere it will find that the bigger data is before the smaller data, or some data is written in a wrong order. So automatically swapped, as it has been reinitialized with 0, that will not be modified. That will not be having the value 1. So when the value of swapped is 0, so automatically this condition will be executed and bubble sort will be stopped. So our problem, when the data is already sorted, or it is very few elements are unsorted, then what to do? So that problem has been solved through this piece of code. So this is the optimized implementation of the bubble sort, and then you can finally close the bubble sort and it's over, right? You can see here end of the outer loop, and finally you can add one more curly brace just to close the function of the bubble sort, which we have started from here. I hope everybody has understood it well. Thanks everyone.